The Evergreen Media Network Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Honestly, without Treasure Coast Community Health, I think we'd be a much poorer community in terms of our health. We're always striving to fill the gap for everyone in the community, rich or poor.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Community Conversations. I hope you're having a lovely day. I can't believe that it's already the end of August. We're staring Labor Day in the face. But it's very exciting at the same time because September is the kickoff for season. That is lots of activities happening. So I want you to get out your pen and paper. I got a couple of save the dates I've just heard about, and we'll hear more about them as the month goes on. But you know, events in Indian River County are spectacular and they sell out quickly. So the first one is something that the Learning Alliance is sponsoring. They will have 2 movie showings of the film Sentenced, and it's all about those folks that have not been able to, in their growing up years, get the educational opportunities that we're trying to present for our kids here in Indian River County. One will be in Vero Beach. The other will be in Sebastian, 2 weekend nights, September 16th and 17th, and you'll be hearing more about that. The second one is another first for Vero Beach, and that is the Harvest Hop that is being put on by the Senior Collaborative. It will be at the Elks, and you can, again, look at signing up for that online through the Senior Collaborative IRC. That's at the end of September. It's going to be a great time. We'll have hors d'oeuvres and cash bar and DJ. And it is, of course, a great night for dancing. At the end of September, temperatures start to cool. So mark those 2 dates. And don't forget that Treasure Coast Community Health also has the Great Duck Derby coming up the first Sunday of November. So again, mark your calendars, save the date, however you want to put it, because while Treasure Coast Community Health is all for health, we know that lots of things affect our mental health, our physical health, and so those are some of the things that we think will be great for you to attend. I'm also here today with Tanya Bullard. Sorry, I said Boulevard, but I meant Bullard. Tanya's been with us before. She is the executive director of Miss B's Learning Bees. Miss B. See, I couldn't get it all out. Help me out here, Tanya.
Miss B's Learning Bees.
Miss B's Learning Bees. Okay. And, you know, just like the Learning Collaborative, the Learning Alliance, the Senior Collaborative, we attend to all ages because every piece of the life cycle is important to help build strong families and a great lifestyle. So you are leading an organization that's now 10 years old.
Yes, I'm so excited to say this is our 10-year anniversary. Wow. January 2014, we received our 501c3 status. And January 14th, 2024, it made it our 10-year anniversary. So we have been a nonprofit in Indian River County for 10 years. So exciting.
So for someone who's new to Indian River County, tell us a little bit about Miss B's and why you think it's been successful.
Miss B's Learning Bees is a grassroots nonprofit that was created to meet a need in the community for children from high poverty communities that were not proficient. Our students were not meeting grade level, and they needed a lot of additional support. And so what Miss B's Learning Bees, what we offer is to provide the additional academic support that is research-based, research-centered and evidence-based, and has proven to be effective with our population. We have consistently increased our learning gains since 2019.
Good job.
Thank you. I think this year we reached between 37 and 40%. So we've increased from 24 to 40%. This past year, we've had some of the largest outcomes we've ever seen since we've had in the history of Miss B's for example, one of our students made a 102-point gain on the iReady assessment. And we had a 99, a 93-point gain, a 77-point gain. So the after-school program and assisting with proficiency has been extremely effective. We also have a behavioral services program.
Stop there.
Yes.
Stop there, because I don't want to interrupt you on that.
Yes.
I want to go back just a moment. If you're not familiar with iReady, what does that mean? Is that like pre-kindergarten, or is that grade school, or what is that about?
Okay, so iReady is a diagnostic assessment. And so in our after-school program, we use 3 assessment models to ensure our student outcomes. And it only adds the rigor, or it speaks to the rigor that we have in our program. So initially we use iExcel, which is online learning program that our students use on a daily basis.
So are these primarily, sorry for interrupting,
You're
but
fine.
I'm trying to keep up here.
Thank you.
You know this stuff cold. So is this for children that are in kindergarten and up?
Yes, I'm so sorry. So our target population at Miss B's Learning Bees are children ages 5 to 17.
Okay.
So we are helping everyone from kindergarten through high school. Our program is a learning management system, an online learning management system. It's called iExcel. It was created by the Florida Department of Education.
So definitely evidence-based.
Oh, definitely evidence-based, as well as it being, and I don't want to go too far, behavioral-based, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's definitely evidence-based. It provides a pre-diagnostic assessment, a continuous diagnostic assessment, which helps us to evaluate the effectiveness of the program, as well as a post-diagnostic assessment. We calculate the data of the post-assessment and we do a comparative analysis between our data, iReady, the online learning program, the program that the school district uses, which is iReady, to monitor student progression. And then the state uses the FAST. Right.
We just heard about that.
Oh, wow. Okay. And so we utilize iReady and the FAST assessment to determine or to measure the effectiveness of our after-school program. So at the end, whenever we're talking about our students making gains on the iReady assessment, they are provided a point system, and students are given a baseline at the beginning of the year. Their growth is determined by the growth or the increase in points on the assessments that they receive from the initial assessment and to the assessment that is completed in the winter, and then the final assessment, which is completed in the spring.
And so those are the results that you're talking of now.
Yes. So whenever we're referring to our 40% increase of our student gains, that is exactly what we're referring to, increases on iReady, and our final assessment was on the FAST, where we've had a tremendous number of students that were able to go from being either on grade level, proficiency. We've even had a few reach mastery this past year. So we are really excited. Thank you.
That is exciting.
Thank you.
So how many students do you have during the school year?
And throughout the school year, we have about 39 students. So we had more, but we changed our location. And we went from the intergenerational center, and then we went over to a church.
And where's that at?
It was at Grace Life.
Okay.
Grace Life of Vero Beach, right off of 8th Avenue, 20th and 8th, right on the corner.
So you're a little bit further north.
Yes,
than you
a little
were
bit
before.
and more in town, kind of sort of. We're in that hub location. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Thank you.
So for 39 students, you don't receive tuition payments for them, do you?
No, we did not. We do have some parents that are able. Our parents were paying, but that was one of our greatest needs, is being able to obtain additional funding to make sure that we were able to support our students.
So your phone's telling us it's time to take a break. So we're going to have a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Don't leave. Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
Sunshine Furniture.
If you dream of creating a home with furniture where you make life one long weekend, visit Sunshine Furniture now and save 50% on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington furniture during the Fall Home event. Bedroom, living, and dining room, home office, media, and occasional furniture that is inviting and comfortable, Tommy Bahama and Lexington offer everything you need to furnish your floor at home. The Fall Home event ends September 30th, so come in now. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and buy local.
Sunshine Furniture brightens up your day. Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Ooh, have a sunshine day. Sunshine Furniture. Stop on in today and have a
Hey you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining us, this week I'm thrilled to have my friend from Miss B's Learning Bees. I'll get it spit out yet, Latoya. We've been talking about the great advantages that your 39-plus students have had in this last year. The 10th anniversary and your progress with them is amazing. So during the break, I asked Latoya, tell me, do you have the kids separated into age groups? Do you have volunteers? And your answer was?
Yes, we have classrooms. At our recent, at the church location, we had classrooms where we were able to divvy our students up by their grade level and place them in classrooms with teachers. And everything in that classroom was
age appropriate.
Age appropriate. Thank you for the verbiage. Age appropriate to that population of students. And we even had an older classroom for our older students where we were able to have guests from the community come in to speak with them, to work with them, and for them to be able to complete projects.
Nice. So just before we go on, I know you wanted to talk about behaviors in the classrooms because obviously that's a real topic of concern, whether the children were born during COVID and, you know, all of that impact or whether they were just going to school and then weren't, you know, it's really had a long-term effect. But I did want to ask, do you need volunteers? And if so, how would people get a hold of you?
Yes, we could definitely use volunteers. Volunteers are able to access us through our volunteer page on our website. They're able to go in, fill out an application, communicate with me directly, send me an email, and submit their application through email. And then after that, I'm able to meet with them, and then we meet in a larger group to do some onboarding, learn about the organization, and we go from there.
And so what's your website?
The website is at missbeeslearningbees.org.
Okay, perfect. So I know that it's the time of year where all the attention is on students returning to school.
Yes.
And so, teachers, if you retired a year or two ago, this is an after-school only program. So you could still give back without having to go back full-time.
Yes.
So just a
We'd love
thought
to have
if you're
you.
bored. So one of the things that you have recently done more work on is behavioral health.
Yes.
ABA. You want to spell that out for us?
Yes, ABA is Applied Behavioral Analysis. I'm so happy to be in my final course at Florida Institute of Technology. I'm currently an aspiring behavior analyst. I will sit for my exam, fingers crossed, at the end of November. So I am really excited to have completed additional coursework in addition to everything that I did to make sure that I had a very firm understanding of what applied behavioral analysis was and
So
its
share
many
with
facets. So applied behavior...
Reader's Digest version, though. I know you like to talk.
Yes. Applied behavioral analysis, simply put, is the study of behavior. And what behavior analysts do, or what we seek to do, is we study the environment, we study the environment to determine the effect that it's having on behavior. In a nutshell. And so our focus whenever we come in to work with an individual student or to work with an organization is always first to look at the environment. What is happening in the environment? Because the environment dictates behavior.
So are you talking about a school environment, a home environment,
School.
all the above?
All of the above. School, home, medical office, hospital. The interesting aspect about applied behavior analysis is that it has so many different facets that it can be used in. But our focus for Miss B's Learning Bees is a focus on verbal behavior, learning behavior, as well as challenging behaviors.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And so the verbal behavior it helps us to work on, of course, verbal speaking, but that whole communication is a really huge need for students that are ages 3 to 5. And if they cannot communicate their needs, it becomes a challenging behavior, which will prevent learning from occurring in the classroom.
They say that's why 2-year-olds have tantrums. They can't express themselves.
Yes.
And they get frustrated.
Yes.
So they throw themselves down until they get the attention that they were trying to get before that.
Yes, so true. And so our job is we'll go in and our job is to observe them, figure out what the need is, and find a way to be able to address it for them. If it's a way possibly by helping them to communicate differently, raising a hand, asking a question, using a card, using a respite pass, and just many different ways to get their needs met.
So just to clarify, we've mentioned children younger than kindergarten, but your program starts in kindergarten?
So
yes,
now
back
we
up
get
the
to
train.
talk about the behavioral services program.
Okay.
So Ms. B's has 2 programs that we primarily provide in the community. One is academic, the other is behavioral services. So our behavioral services program serves children ages 3 to 17.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And so whenever we're talking about 3-year-olds, and the rationale behind why we are serving children ages 3 is because with early steps and with the Florida Department of Education, students that have developmental delays or challenging behaviors are not able to receive the additional services from the school district unless they have a severe disability. And a challenging behavior is not a severe disability. And so what our goal is to push in to provide those additional supports for teachers and schools so that those students are able to learn and they're able to start kindergarten on grade level or with as many skills as possible because they now have the behavior intervention that has been implemented.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
And definitely needed. But I am confused because when you talk about pushing in, does that mean you or the volunteers or the parents then go to class with the children as opposed to coming to your facility?
Yes. So a little bit more about the background of ABA,
Please.
and then it will definitely help to answer that question. So with applied behavior analysis, our focus is definitely the environment and the behavior. The way we go about making suggestions or completing or creating interventions is we complete a functional behavioral assessment.
Okay.
And
Which the parents have to approve of.
the parents, we do receive parent consent from the very beginning. So
Okay.
before we're even able to complete a FBA, before we're able to complete an observation, we need parent consent.
And so there's an education piece right there.
Yes.
Yes.
And so what we've been able to do is with a couple of our partners in the community, we offer parent groups where we are going into parent groups every month
Okay.
and we are sharing the good news of ABA and how it can help. So
if someone is curious about that, could they reach out and contact you directly?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. They are more than welcome to reach out. We have 2 parent groups a month that we are participating in.
Nice.
One here in the Vero Beach area, the other out in the Fellsmere community. So
Very
we're
nice.
really
Okay.
trying to make sure that we're touching each area,
Okay.
and we're going to the most needy communities.
Okay.
And so we compete with parental consent. We complete a functional behavior assessment by completing an observation of the student in the classroom where the targeted behaviors are occurring. So we observe them. We collect data. We collect lots of data. This is a data-driven process. We collect lots of data to determine the function of the behavior. Once we understand the function of the behavior, then we are able to create assessments to specifically address that function. When we talk about the functions of the behavior or functions of behavior, we know that there are 4 functions of behavior: escape or avoidance, tangible, automatic, or attention.
You knew that. I didn't know that, but thank you.
Yes, so those are the 4 functions of behavior. If anything's occurring,
So it's
for
very
these.
scientifically
It's
driven.
extreme, yes.
So it's not subjective.
No.
It is evidence-based on research that has worked.
Yes, proven.
Perfect. So do you go in then to nursery schools where the children are engaged?
Yes, we go into preschools, we go into middle schools, we go into elementary schools, and we go into high schools.
That's fantastic.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And it's not a program that I've heard anyone else in the county doing.
No, I think we finally found our niche.
I think so. Well, I don't want your phone to ring off the hook, but it sounds like you have a ton of information to share that will make life easier for both children and their parents.
Yes, and teachers.
And
teachers.
especially teachers, because if the children aren't behaving, and that's kind of a negative way to put it, but if there's opportunities for them to be better listeners, better students, certainly behavior interferes or has a possibility of interfering. So thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you for having us.
So again, how do they get in touch with you?
Miss B's Learning Bees. Our web address is missbeeslearningbees.org. Our phone number is 772-713-4130. Again, 772-713-4130.
That's awesome, Latoya. Thank you so much for coming on board today and telling us a little bit more, not about just Miss B's Learning Bees, but about the applied behavioral analysis that can help children be more successful before they even get into the schooling proper.
Yes.
So awesome. We'll see you again in a couple of months. I can't wait to hear more progress.
Wow. I thank you, Vicki. I'd love to come back.
All right. And thank you for being with us today. I hope that if you live in the Vero or South Vero area and know of children, give her a call. And we'll see you next week.